Welcome, Rhonda here with Foods 101. Today, I'm going to show you how to make this pumpkin spice pound cake. Absolutely fabulous for these fall and winter seasons ahead. The ingredients you're going to need is 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar, 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree. Make sure you get the pure pumpkin puree. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Make sure you use pure vanilla. It'll make all the difference in flavor. 3/4 of a cup of butter at room temperature, 3 large eggs at room temperature, 2 tablespoons of coconut milk, or if you want to substitute this for whole milk, you may, and 2/3 cups of granulated sugar. For the topping, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of these raw pumpkin seeds to the top of my pound cake before I bake it. For the glaze part, you're going to use 1/2 cup of powdered sugar with about 1 teaspoons of rum. If you want to substitute the rum with water, or if you want to substitute it with milk, you can do that too. Let me show you how easy this is to get together. We're going to start by adding all the dry ingredients for the pound cake into a medium mixing bowl. This is the baking powder, the baking soda and salt, the cinnamon and ginger. With a whisk, we're going to incorporate these ingredients well together so they can be well blended throughout your pound cake. Set this off to the side. In a medium-sized mixing bowl, I'm adding all the butter. And you see the softness there on that butter? That's what you're wanting. And if you don't have that, you can nuke it in your microwave for 3 seconds at a time until you get this lovely softness. And I'm just adding the rest. Add your granulated sugar with your brown sugar with a hand mixer. If you want to use a KitchenAid you made on medium high speed, we're going to cream this together till it's nice and smooth, about 3 to 4 minutes. Be sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl as you go. Now that it's looking like this, you see how light and creamy that is? It's even gotten lighter in color. We're going to start adding 1 egg at a time. And I transported my egg into a measuring cup because it's a lot easier to transport from the measuring cup than from the shell itself. And beat this till you can no longer see the yellow of the yolk. About 15-20 seconds. Now it's time for our second egg. Be sure to scrape down the bowl as you go. And again, about 15-20 seconds. You want your ingredients well incorporated. It's going to make all the difference in flavor and how your texture on your pound cake turns out. Add your last egg. And be sure to scrape down the sides of your bowl as you go. That looks fantastic. At this point, we're going to add that pure vanilla extract. We're going to beat this in for about 15-20 seconds. That looks great. Next, we're going to add 1/3 of our flour mixture with our spices and baking powder and soda and salt, along with a little bit, maybe half of your coconut milk, and 1/3 of our pumpkin puree. On medium high, we're going to incorporate these ingredients until they're well blended, about 30 seconds. Now it's time to add another 1/3 of our dry ingredients along with our coconut milk and 1/3 of our pumpkin puree. You may want to use your spoon to get it off of there. Just like that. Again, we're going to mix this for about 30 seconds on medium speed. Start on low so you won't end up getting a flour shower, and then you can increase your speed. Mix for at least 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, we're going to add that remaining flour along with that remaining coconut milk, or if you're substituting for milk, that's fine, and the rest of your pumpkin puree. This is going to be so delicious. I can smell the spices, the pumpkin. Fall is in the air. And again, we're going to start on low. Increase your speed as the flour starts to disappear. Be sure to get it off your spoon. Be sure to scrape down the sides of your bowl. I cannot stress the importance of this. So important if you want a delicious pound cake. That looks absolutely fantastic. This is ready for its baking pan. I'm using a 9 by 5 inch baking loaf that I've greased really well and I've coated with flour. I've got a piece of parchment paper that's going to fit here in the bottom of our pan. And remember that butter wrapper? Never get rid of those butter wrappers because we're going to give the parchment paper a little bit of buttering on both sides before we add it into the bottom. This will ensure that your pound cake isn't going to stick to your baking pan. So we'll put it right here in the bottom. We're just going to add our pumpkin spice pound cake batter. You can spoon it in or you can shovel it in all at once. You're not going to hurt this. You just want to make sure that it's well distributed here in your loaf pan. With another spatula, you can be sure to get it all off your first spatula. Yep, they may come in handy using them together. To make sure that we have all the air bubbles out of our batter, I use a skewer and go back and forth vigorously around in circles so we're not going to have any air bubbles once our pound cake bakes. If you don't have a skewer, go ahead and use a butter knife and run it back and forth so you won't have your air pockets. Then we're going to ensure we get rid of all of our air bubbles by picking it up and dropping it on a solid surface. Now, to distinguish that this has something to do with pumpkins, I like adding my pumpkin seeds here to the top of my pound cake before it bakes, and this is like just 1 tablespoon. This is off to a 350 degrees preheated oven on the middle rack for the next 1 hour and 5 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. Use your timer and no peeking. Pumpkin spice pound cake has baked, and oh my goodness, if you could be in my kitchen and smell how fabulous this is. Oh, look at those little pumpkin seeds. Love the little pumpkin seeds on the top. To ensure that it's completely baked, I'm taking a toothpick, stick it in the thickest part, pull it out. No batter on that toothpick, so this is completely baked. And I'm gonna let this cool down here in its baking pan for about 10-15 minutes to really take off the heat, and then we'll apply that fabulous rum glaze. After 15 minutes, I'm coming back with that powdered sugar. Gonna add that rum, and like I said, you can substitute the rum for milk or water. We're gonna give it a lovely little stirring. And the scent on that smells fabulous. It's a little too thick, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more until we get this smooth consistency. Keep whisking until you get all those lumps out of your powdered sugar. Looks absolutely about perfect. While your pound cake is still really warm, we're just gonna go over the top, back and forth, trying to get it equally distributed. And this is going to soak right in to your pumpkin spice pound cake. Wow, the smell, ooh, yum, that pumpkin and the spices and that rum. It's fabulous, still a little warm. You may just wanna run your glaze back and forth so it'll absorb right there into your cake. Cool down for 1 hour, and I'll be back. After an hour, you're gonna go around your pound cake. Make sure your sides are very well loosened. I'm using a serrated knife that gives a lovely little cut on each slice of your pumpkin spice pound cake. And then I've already cut this, and look how it just comes right out. I can smell that cinnamon. I can smell the rum, the pumpkin. Looky there. Oh, how it just springs back. Oh, you know it's going to be lovely and moist. And look how nice and soft how it just flakes right back. Ooh, you know it's going to be delicious. And look at those pumpkin seeds on the top. I love how that turned out. Wow. The moistness of this cake, that rum, that glaze. It's still a little warm. Kind of reminds me of a pumpkin cake donut. Wow. I love that rum glaze. I love the moistness of this pound cake. The cinnamon, the pumpkin, ooh, and a hint of that ginger. It's delicious. Give me thumbs up, leave me a comment, hit that notification bell to be the first to get my new YouTube food videos. You can taste that rum glaze all the way around the perimeters of your pumpkin spice pound cake. You're not going to be disappointed in this recipe. Look on the inside. It gives you 8 thick slices about 1 inch thick or 6 thinner slices. I'm Deronda with Foods 101. Give me thumbs up, leave me a comment, hit that notification bell to be the first to get my new YouTube food videos. Thanks a million for watching. Stay safe, and I'll catch you lovely people later.